But yeah, hey, episode 32, Keep It Thorough Thursdays. Today we're gonna be talking about retiring the right way. This is one of our Money Matters episodes. So what's up, cuz? Ain't seen you in a minute. I know y'all was just in Gary. Hope that was good. But yeah, so retiring the right way. This is one of our Money Matters episodes. This is like a continuation of one of the conversations we had about which episode was that said? It was an episode about investing. There was like different vehicles for investing. I can't remember the name of that episode. But anyway, in that episode, we talked about various different things. We talked about stocks, we talked about crypto, we talked about 401ks, both IRAs and traditional, like regular type 401ks. We talked about various different things. And so what we doing is we going back to those various topics that we talked about and diving a little deeper into each individual one. We already did one on let me pull up these titles.
Children. We did one for.
Oh, we did. We already did a deep diver into custodial accounts, 529 accounts, which is a way of investing essentially for your kids. And now this one is for retirement. So we diving deeper into IRAs and 401ks. So without further ado, man, hey, it's your boy E Double.
What up, good people? Cedric Lavelle. And I'm just trying to do what I can to survive and be beneficial. Okay?
Now he will be, and he's getting hydrated and will be staying up late tonight for that Beyonce album that's dropping.
Yeah, I got my water right here.
He's so excited.
I'm staying up with my wife. We're gonna stay up till 12 o'clock.
Yeah. Be high. All right, bet. Hey, so preparing properly. What is your retirement strategy? So I'm gonna go ahead and let Sid kick that off, and then we're gonna get into the meat of it.
Yeah. So obviously, as you prepare for your latter years, your life after being in the workplace, you want to have a good life. You want to have a life that's well supported by making smart decisions, right? And as we go through this particular topic on retiring the right way, and as we go into the differences between your 401k and your IRA, Roth IRA, for all those different things, you're going to recognize the opportunities that are available to you, right? And one of the most significant things that you can do right now with where you are is start to make good decisions, start to strategize what it is specifically you would like your life to look like as you prepare for your retirement years. Now, obviously, things can happen in between now and later, but having a good strategy in place that can really propel you to the position that you want to put yourself in at a later day is going to help you out immensely. It's truly going to be able to put you in a situation where you know that you are secured. You can handle things with a mind of certainty and clarity. You'll know where certain resources will be coming from at a later date. So really just having that peace of mind as you go through your professional career and as you begin to transition into your retirement years, man, it's just extremely helpful to identify what strategy you would want to utilize in order to be able to retire comfortably, right? Like, everyone's heard the stories of people who've retired already.
Diesel?
You know what I'm saying? Who retired already and are struggling, working in retail and talking with so many different people who have retired and are living, check to check. It's not a very comfortable feeling, not being able to do what it is that you want to do when you're retired, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
you don't want to, you want to continue living life.
You want to
how you were when you were working, right? You don't want to have to downsize or you know, minimize your lifestyle or like heavily compromise or adjust your lifestyle because you're retired. Like in retirement, when you're not working, that's really when you should be able to really enjoy life. You
Right,
know what
right.
I mean? Not have to cut back and be worried about, you know, paying the mortgage, or if your house is paid off, paying the tax bill or whatever the case may be. You want to be very comfortable in retirement. So proper planning, having goals and aligning those plans with those goals can put you in a comfortable situation.
Precisely. And you want to do that. Like you spend so much time working, you know, you sacrifice a significant amount of time from your family, from
What
loved
up? What up,
ones.
Scoop?
Um,
Yeah,
and
he
so
said,
you
I'm trying to see. I don't know who that is. That is,
I don't
uh.
know. I don't
But
know
what?
that.
Hey, what up? What up, Neff?
Yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you want to be able to retire comfortably, have enough money to support your lifestyle, and be in a position where you can enjoy yourself. You know, enjoy these years of your life that you've worked so hard for. You know, the fruits of your labor. And so that's what, you know, having a retirement strategy is all about. Just being able to set up a game plan that's going to put you in the best possible position to be prosperous, to be continue to be successful, to continue to live the life that you're currently living, or even improve and better your life. You know, so I feel like as years go, you get better with time. You want to progress. You want to be better. You want to do more things. And so being retired and not having the obligation to go and clock in, or go and work for someone, you have more freedom. You know, you have the liberty to do certain things. You could take on a new hobby, take on a new craft, or whatever the case may be, start a business, whatever it is. But, you know, making the wise decisions now, preparing yourself accordingly, and understanding that, you know, work for most people won't last forever. There's going to come a time where you're going to be transitioning out, right? And so being prepared and being in the best possible position for success will definitely elevate you, not only in the future, but it'll definitely elevate you now, because it'll give you that, like I said, it give you the peace of mind, and then you just have you're able to move with the level of comfort, knowing that you're going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to the end.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, so yeah, so that's a good segue to the next topic, right? Which is where we're gonna dive deep into the differences between 401ks and IRAs. So as we mentioned, it was episode 23, the investing kit. If you want to go in the bio, click the link and check out the kits. It's episode 23, the investing kit, where we went over various different ways of investing. So first and foremost, I want to say this: 401ks and IRAs are one method of preparing for retirement. I would say it's probably the most common method, because most people who work a regular job, they offer 401k plans, and IRAs kind of mirror those. So it's one method, but not necessarily the only method.
Yeah.
But most people contribute to a 401k. So I think the education that we're about to provide here, and the knowledge that and the insight we're about to give, a lot of people don't know about, because I know maybe 5-6 years ago, I didn't know the difference between traditional 401ks, Roth 401ks, and after I learned, I made a lot of changes, which I think will be better for me, my family, you know, in the future, for retirement, so on and so forth. So getting into the meat of it, right? So know your options. There are, so 401ks. 401ks are basically retirement or saving plans offered through employers, right? And IRAs are very similar to 401ks. Main difference being IRAs aren't offered through your employer. So, say for instance, you run your own business, you're self-employed, and you want to create a retirement account or savings account for retirement, but you don't work a regular job, right? So you don't have an employer providing that for you. That's what IRAs are. They're structured very similarly, right? So when we're talking about 401ks and IRAs, you have traditional and then you have Roth. Okay, so traditional 401k, traditional IRA, Roth 401k, Roth IRA. Okay, so the main differences between them. So this is what most people do. Most people contribute to a traditional 401k out of their paycheck every week, 2 weeks, however often you get paid, right? And typically you select a percentage of your paycheck, and sometimes there's an employer match, right? So sometimes they match you dollar for dollar, sometimes they match you 50% up to a certain percent, whatever the case may be. I'll just use an example. Like, some places 6%, it's a 6% match, right? So you contribute 6% and they match you 6%, right? In a traditional 401k plan, you contribute before taxes, right? So if your check is $1,000, you contribute your 6% of that from the $1,000, which is what, $60?
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at math, right? $60. So $60, and then whatever other pre-tax deductions come out, and then your check is taxed, right? But what happens is when you go to retire, which retirement age is 59 and a half. So when you go to retire and you pull out that money, or you start receiving payments from that 401, all these numbers and damn acronyms, 401k account, you're going to pay taxes based on whatever your ordinary income tax rate is. So if you're at 33% or 24% or whatever your tax rate is, that's what you're going to pay taxes on in that money when you take it out. Also, just to kind of go down some bullet points with the traditional, right? You make before tax deductions, as I already mentioned. There's a $20,500 contribution limit per year. You can contribute up to $27,000 for people who are 50 and older. As I mentioned, employers can make contributions. There's no income limits, so you can make $10,000 a year or $3 million a year and still contribute as long as it's below that contribution limit, right? Qualified withdrawals are taxed at your ordinary income tax rate. A qualified withdrawal would be, if you're at retirement age, or there's some other exceptions to that, like disabilities and certain things like that. But qualified withdrawals are taxed at your ordinary tax rate. Any withdrawals that you take that are not qualified before retirement age comes with the 10% penalty, as well as the taxes that you pay on them. That's a traditional 401k, right? Now, this is the good stuff, the Roth 401k. A Roth 401k is different because you make after-tax contributions, right? So what does that mean? So how we said you take that $1,000 check, make a contribution before taxes, and then pay taxes on the remainder. What happens is all of your pre-tax deductions come out, your taxes come out, and then that 6% of what's left over gets invested into the Roth 401k. Now, on face value, that may sound like, okay, well, 6% of that number is going to be lower than 6% of your pre-tax check, right?
Yeah.
But this is where the beauty of it is. All of the gains that you make off of your Roth 401k are tax-free because you pay tax up front, okay? Whereas all of your gains in a traditional 401k plan are taxed. So everything that's in that account, once you take withdrawals, is taxed. That's your ordinary tax rate. Whereas in a Roth 401k, none of it is taxed because you paid taxes before you made the contribution, right? That is a huge benefit, especially if your tax rate is going to increase
Right.
over the years, right? So if you're 20 something, 30 something, 40 something, you work until you're 50, 59 and a half, 60 years old, 9 times out of 10, your income bracket is going to continue to increase, which, so by the time you retire, you're going to pay a hell of a amount of taxes on that money. Whereas if you paid the taxes up front, all of that growth you've seen over those years, you don't pay no taxes on it, right? Which means you pay less taxes up front because you were at a lower tax bracket at that time, right? It has the same $20,500 contribution limit as a traditional 401k. Also, no income limits. Employers can still make contributions. Qualified withdrawals are tax-free, right? So, as I mentioned before, on a traditional 401k, qualified withdrawals are taxed. On a Roth 401k, qualified withdrawals are tax-free. You pay no taxes on them. Employer match. No, okay, now this is the kicker, right? Your employer match is taxed. Okay, so keep that in mind. So only the amount that you contribute is not taxed, but your employer contribution is taxed. But again, depending on where you work, that would be half of the money would be taxed and half not. Or not all places do a 100% match. Some people match up to 50%. So that would be like what is that break down to? Like a 1/4% tax versus 75% not taxed, right? So yeah. So again, either way you slice it, paying taxes on $1 million versus paying taxes on only 500,000 of that million is still a huge savings, right? So, and then early withdrawals for a Roth 401k also comes with that 10% penalty, but again, you don't pay taxes on it because you already paid taxes on the gains, right? So now traditional IRA, Roth IRA, very similar as I mentioned before, but there's also some differences. So a traditional IRA, you make before tax contributions, very similar to a traditional 401k. The way this works for an IRA is your contributions are tax deductible though. So since you don't work for a regular employer, right, where you're making those contributions through your check before the taxes are deducted, you basically make the contributions and then you're able to write those off on your tax returns. So it's still before tax deductions because you get the money back on your taxes. Now the contribution limit for a traditional IRA is way lower than a 401k. The contribution limit is $6,000, and it's $7,000 for people that are 50 and older. Again, there's no income limits. Qualified withdrawals are taxed at your ordinary income tax rate, just like a traditional 401k. And your entire withdrawal is taxed at your ordinary income tax rate at retirement age. And you got that same 10% penalty if you withdraw before retirement and still have to pay taxes. Now, a Roth IRA, you make after-tax deductions, very similar to a Roth 401k. Same $6,000 contribution limit as a traditional IRA. $7,000 for people who are 50 or older. Now there is an income limit. This is the only one that has an income limit. And if you make over 140,000 or more as an individual, you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. And if you make 208,000 for married couples, you cannot contribute to a Roth IRA. So it's the only one of the three that has an income limit. And then the same 10% penalty for withdrawals before retirement age, which is 59 and a half. And I guess one of the negatives of a Roth IRA compared to either, I guess a negative compared to either a traditional 401k or a Roth 401k is that those lower contribution limits, right? We're talking $14,500 less that you can contribute per year when you're comparing to 401ks. So 401ks obviously are the way to go if you work for a corporation that offers 401k plans. But if you're self-employed, you still have an option. And you can open up an IRA even if you have a 401k plan. So say you want to just set up additional savings and retirement plan and not have it all in the same place through your employer. You can do that. And as long as you make under 140,000 as an individual or 208,000 as a married couple, I would recommend doing the Roth IRA because of the tax benefits. Right, you contribute with after tax contributions, but none of the gains are taxed, which is beautiful when you retire and you need that money to be able to take it all and it's yours versus having to pay taxes on whatever that amount is, and that can be, 33% depending on where you fall in your income bracket, right? So in summary, right, traditional 401k, Roth 401k, traditional IRA, Roth IRA, both traditionals are pre-tax contributions, whereas the Roth 401k and the Roth IRA are after-tax contributions. The traditional has you pay taxes on the gains once you take the money out. The Roths, you pay no taxes on the gains once you take the money out because you pay taxes before you contributed to those accounts. Highly, 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 highly recommend the Roth 401k. Pretty much all employers that offer traditional 401ks offer Roth 401ks. I know Fidelity is real popular. I think pretty much every job I've had, that's who's managed their 401k plans. I think there might be one exception. There was another company called Transamerica or something like that I worked for. It was a smaller company though. But all of the bigger companies I've worked for have all used Fidelity. If you log into your accounts, you can go in there and take a look. And you can change it over to a Roth 401k. Very easy to do. I also recommend looking at your breakdown of your investments in your 401k. A lot of people just stick to to whatever is by default, but you can actually break that up and do research. Maybe we'll do an episode set on that where we can dive deeper into making different selections for your 401k versus just going with the standard selections. But highly recommend the 401k. I would say the only negative, which truly isn't a negative because you got to think long term and not short term, is when you contribute to a Roth over a traditional, your paycheck will be a little less. And that's because that whatever percentage you're investing in your 401k is not coming out before taxes, right? So that amount that's being taxed is going to be higher, right? So let me just explain it like this, right? And I'm gonna give y'all real numbers so y'all can see. So if your paycheck is 1,000, right, and you contribute 6% to your traditional 401k, then 940 is what would be taxed, right? So $940 taxed at whatever the percentage is versus $1,000 taxed at whatever that percentage is going to be a larger amount. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? So yeah, so $1,000 being taxed at 10% is higher than 940 being taxed at 10%, right? So your check will be a little less because it's the larger amount is being taxed, and then your 401k Roth contribution is coming out. But we're talking $20-$30. We're not talking like hundreds. Like it ain't gonna be $200-$400. And I'm like, well, I'll take that back. If you getting $10,000 paychecks or something, it could be that.
It might be.
But yeah, so that pretty much sums up the knowing your options, right? Heavily recommend looking into Roth 401ks. Very beneficial, very good for retirement. I want all my money when I retire, which whether I'm going to be relying on this or not is a whole different conversation because there's a lot of different investment vehicles. Let's just be real. We keep it thorough on here, right? So this is my viewpoint. Me personally, I don't plan on having to rely on a Roth 401k, but I still do contribute to one, right?
Right.
But the truth is everybody is not going to be a business owner. Everybody is not going to be an entrepreneur. Everybody is not going to run their own business and do all of those things. So for those people, like, what do you do when it's time to retire? You don't want to work forever. You know, you want to get to a place, as said mentioned previously, where you can be comfortable in retirement. You can still support your lifestyle. You know, you can travel. And you're not worrying about, you know, where the money's coming from to be able to afford these things. And by investing in things like this and paying attention and proper planning, then you can be comfortable, right? And that's why a 401k is amazing. But a Roth 401k just takes it to the next level because you get more of your money on the back end, as I mentioned. So with all that said, we're going to move over
I want
to
to add something to that too.
No, my bad. Go ahead, Sid.
No, you good. So basically, you know, with everything that Eric just mentioned, these are really just starting points, right? So obviously for those who have, you know, been in the work world, you're familiar with the 401k, traditional 401k, maybe not too familiar with the Roth 401k, but these are really just starting points for you to go out and do some research, really discover what specifically can work for you and put you in the best possible position. Even though we may speak about a Roth 401k and give our suggestions or recommendations on what we feel would be most beneficial, obviously we are not financial advisors, but it's very
That. I
imperative.
got to get a little piece of paper that I flash.
Right, put when we do these money matters, just put it up in the screen. But it's imperative to do your research, to do your due diligence. I feel like there's always a lack of awareness and literacy when it comes to things like this, or even just the financial landscape, period. Understanding what's available to you, understanding what vehicles you can tap into, understanding what opportunities are ahead of you as you progress through your career, and where that money can come from and what resources are available and how you can pivot and transition and adjust. That way, when you are retiring or you're entering into those retirement years, your bank account can be going through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like your expenses can be lower, but that income that you're going to have coming in based off of making proper decisions and preparing well is going to give you that peace of mind that you want when you're about to retire, right? As I said in the beginning, we hear so many different stories of people who retire and don't have much. You know what I'm saying? And you
Or
hear
they gotta severely downsize. Like
they got to
they're
downsize and they find themselves
waiting on
struggling.
Social Security, or relying on Social Security. With Social Security going away, man, like it's not funded properly. Like it's gonna crash. Like the money that we investing in Social Security now was paying for the people who getting it now. Like, so it's a broken system. So proper planning is key.
Proper planning. Do your due diligence and do what is necessary. Obviously to prepare yourself for the future, because like I said, you're not going to be working forever. I mean, obviously certain people that may be entrepreneurs or do their own business, they may be doing things from the 60s to 70s, which is cool. But for individuals who, want to get to an age where they can say, I'm tapping out. I ain't working for nobody. I ain't doing that. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to relax for the next few years. You know what I'm saying? Learn, understand. And even if you do understand this and people who may not be familiar with the options that are available to them, go and have conversations with them. Ask them questions. Be beneficial. You know what I'm saying? Take the value of what you know and the things that you've experienced as you progressed in your career and as you learned certain things and become privy of certain things. Go and talk to those people. Go and talk to those parents or those friends, the cousins, the aunts, all those things. Be like, hey, I know you're getting into your retirement years. What are you doing? How are you strategizing? Or even if they're young, like have you?
Well, no, they should be young, because if you're 60 and you just now starting to prepare for your retirement, you're not gonna have that much money saved up.
You're not.
So you definitely want to start younger. The younger you start, the better. For sure, for sure.
But definitely have those conversations. Don't hold that knowledge. Obviously, with the platform that we're building right now, we're all about information. You know what I'm saying? Whatever we know, however we can help, this is our service to everyone. You know, the knowledge that we have around certain different things. Eric knows a lot about certain areas. I know a lot about certain things. And we just want to spread that information and encourage everybody who listens to us and wants to build their own platform and have their own voice, do the same. You know what I'm saying? Like share the information, make certain that people are understanding what's available to them, and change the mindset. That way, as the years progress, man, everybody can live fruitfully. You know what I'm saying? And be able to prosper in the later years. But also, like I keep saying this, man, have a peace of mind. Like I've seen it countless amounts of times where people are up in age and struggle. You know what I'm saying? And have to make significant sacrifices just to get by. You know, and that's not a very comfortable space that you want to be in when you're 50, 60, 70 plus. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to just be relaxing and
You want to
chilling.
be living. You want to be
Yeah, you know what I'm
enjoying your
saying?
life at that point.
So definitely, you know, do your due diligence. Uh, get an understanding of these particular vehicles that you can accelerate with and take advantage of, and really get yourself in the best possible position to be prosperous.
Yeah, and like said mentioned, this is a like a starting point, right? Like really to kind of light a light a fire, or make a light bulb go off, and you might not have been aware of Roth IRAs, right, or Roth 401ks and the benefit of them. So you can do a little bit of research, and then make the necessary adjustments that are beneficial to you, right? And as I mentioned, everybody's not an entrepreneur. Everybody's not gonna start their own business and do those type of things. But if you are that type of person, this still is one of many vehicles that you should invest in, right?
Right.
Because now, say you get up in age, right? Like me, I'll use myself as an example. I don't ever see myself not working, but when I say that, I don't mean like I'm gonna be working like I do now, a regular job, 40, 45 hours a week. No, that's not what I mean. Like I'll be working maybe 10 hours some weeks, 20 hours, 5 hours other week. You know what I mean? I'll always be moving and involved with different businesses I got going on. But by having a Roth 401k, and honestly, I have a Roth 401k. I have a couple IRAs from previous traditional 401ks, the companies I left, and I rolled them over into our investment firm, and now I have some IRAs sitting at our building. But when you get to the point where you're later in life, wouldn't it be nice to have $1 million plus in that Roth IRA, a couple, $1 million plus in that 401k Roth, 100,000, couple 100,000 in a couple IRAs, some investment properties, some mutual funds, some stocks, building out that portfolio. Like, wouldn't
Yeah,
that be nice? You know what I mean? So that's really the point here, is to share various different tools and information. And again, this one was primarily about 401ks and IRAs, but this builds on that bigger conversation about finding new ways to invest that we discussed in episode
and
23.
diversify.
And I highly recommend, if you didn't watch that episode, to go back and watch it, because it's on our Instagram page, and to go click on the link in the bio, go to episode 23, pull up that kit, because there's a lot of information in there: stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, 401ks, IRAs, cryptocurrency, custodial accounts, 529, real estate, starting a business. Bunch of really good information in there, right? So as said mentioned, this definitely is just a starting point, but very, very important, because most people are working traditional jobs right now, and it's a way where you can tap into that saving and planning for your retirement. So
Absolutely.
with all that said, right, getting started, we're gonna hop into getting started. So before you can get started in anything, it's good to have goals, and in order to have goals, you need to have a plan to achieve those goals, right? So we put together like a little list of 5 questions that we think are important to kind of ask yourself to plan accordingly. And then hopefully this will kind of also help you gauge, you know, whether you want to go with like a traditional or a Roth 401k, so on and so forth. So said, I'll let you knock out the first three, and I can take the last two.
Bet. So first question you can ask yourself: what are your future goals? What do you see your life looking like in the future? What specifically? And again, and if you're not doing this, I encourage you to do this. You want to take every opportunity, whether it's with investing, whether it's with your purpose, whether it's with a vision, whatever it is, you want to look towards the future. What do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? Make your thoughts limitless without, feeling that certain things are impossible, because anything can happen in the next 3, 4, 5 months, years, so really allow yourself to think very broad. Like, don't think narrow, but what are your future goals? What are you wanting to do as you begin to approach your retirement years? What do you want to do after you retire? You know what I'm saying? And so really identifying what those goals specifically are and what they can potentially be will allow you to make better decisions, right? So the next question that you can ask: what do you want to do during retirement? Are you wanting to travel? Are you wanting to do a lot of charitable things? Are you wanting to start a business? Are you wanting to start different funds for your grandkids or whatever it is? Obviously, most of us are probably 30, late 30s, early 40s that listen to us, but really, like I
Oh
said,
no, we got some young bucks, man. Come on,
okay,
don't be, you know what I mean? We got something,
20,
man.
20s, early
We got
teens.
something that been here. What's Shorty new song?
I don't
Damn,
know, but
now
I
I
know
feel old,
I know
right?
I'm
Now
young,
that just
so
made
I
me
ain't.
feel old. SNG, what she say? Damn, what's the song?
I don't even know what song you talking about, bro. I don't know what you singing.
But we got some youngins in here. It's gonna come to me. Damn,
All
that just
right.
made me old though, right? I'm trying to talk about how we not old.
I mean,
And
you
kind of
like
this
40
old
plus.
shit.
It's all good though. We ain't
No,
gonna call you
I
out on it.
don't though. I
Huh?
don't though. I don't
20,
though.
25.
25.
25. She 25 every year.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Hey, I've been 25 since I hit 25. This is what?
25.
Damn, I didn't cross track. It's
Boy,
like my
boy ain't
12th
aged
year of being
one bit.
25.
Boy
Right?
ain't aged one bit. Still got the same face.
Man, tell me.
You know what I'm
There we
saying?
go, Gorilla. Oh, there we go. What she say? How it go, man? Damn, I
She
can't
shouldn't
think of
even
the
told
song.
you that. Now you finna be on here trying to
The F and F
rant.
stands for fuck nigga free, but I can't remember how it go though, man. Like she be spelling it out, like FREE fuck nigga
Boy.
free, some. But anyway, if I'd have said it when I meant to say it, my point was we be having people on here that's tapped in with the young folks, man. So we good.
Showing his
Showing
age.
my age, right? And I'm talking about we not old.
God dang, man. Goodness
Yeah,
gracious,
there she go.
bro.
Cuz just posting it. I'm FREE for nigga free.
Look,
Some gotta worry about. Then she said I'm
you,
SINGLE again. Yeah, there we go. Hanging out the window with my ratchet ass friends. There we go. It came to me. Said something about some twerking in their headlights at the red light.
I
Something.
feel like you be jamming that in your doing your workout
Low
time.
key, I didn't like the song when I first heard it, but
But you
it
listen
kind
to
of
it when you're working out
it
though.
grew on me. It grew
But
on me.
you listen to it when you work out. You just listened to it earlier today when you worked out. I know you did.
I didn't though. I
Huh?
didn't. Though.
All right,
I didn't.
Let you tell it.
I
Let you
didn't.
tell
Though.
it. Look, you got
But I do.
everybody live up
Hey,
in
but I
here.
do know they be twerking at the red light in them headlights. That's what she said.
I gotta go listen to the song because I don't know what song you talking about
But
right
anyway,
now.
man. Okay,
You know what I'm saying? So
so
what do
yeah,
you want to do during retirement? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You wanna be a rapper? You know what I'm saying? You like everybody here, you trying to spit bars, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Ask yourself these questions. You know what I'm saying? You could be 60, 65 and rapping. It's cool. Whatever floats your boat, whatever suits you best, just make sure that you properly preparing yourself for that. You did?
Hey, and everybody's lifestyle don't look the same in retirement, right?
Not at all.
Like some people may live a way more frugal lifestyle, right, in their retirement. Maybe they're cool having a nice little high rise, you know, having a nice little coffee shop near them, somewhere they can go, you know, hang out, have a good time. And then some people may want to travel the world in their retirement. Some people may want to, you know, have a nice car and, you know, still own a home because maybe they have grandchildren and they want the kids to be able to come stay with them and host, you know, family dinners,
events and stuff
Thanksgiving
like
and
that.
things
Yeah.
like that. So everybody's different. So knowing what you want your life to look like in your retirement age is important because then that leads to your planning and knowing how much money you need to be able to support that. You know what I
You
mean?
want to
So
strategize.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And then last one I got is what expenses will you be managing? So obviously, and again, no one can predict the future and what will happen. But it's always, 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 always important to prepare and to plan. You know what I'm saying? To put yourself in the best possible position. I always say it's good to do a scenario analysis, you know, and take different scenarios that can potentially happen, analyze those things, look at the pros, look at the cons, the do's, the don'ts, the what ifs, and all of those things. And how can you maximize those opportunities, right? But doing it in a way where you're being very progressive, where you're doing it to where as you move forward in your life, you're eliminating debts, you're eliminating liabilities, and you're working towards building your assets. You know, we had an episode about that as well too. Assets and liabilities. You know what I'm saying? The older that you get, you want to decrease your liabilities and increase your assets. You want to be able to be net positive. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to get into your later years and you still in the negatives and in the red. Like no, like make smart decisions now. Like and even in episode 23 when we talked about the different investment vehicles that you can tap into, go to that episode and look at some of the various forms of ways that you can invest and see what specifically can work for you. Because what you can start doing now is making all the good financial decisions, whether you got the money to do it or not. Like it's always good to have information and knowledge. And once things start to move in a certain direction, you know what you're doing. You can utilize it. You know what I'm saying? You can activate your genius or activate your mind and start
Yeah,
making
yeah,
all the
cuz
decisions
that's
that you need.
it's episode 23. If you go click on the link in the bio, it'll take you to the website and it's called the investing kit. So yeah, episode 23. And then if you go on the Facebook page in episode 23, it'll say finding new ways to invest. And you can watch that video. It's a lot of good information in there.
But you definitely want to get yourself in a position where you're making good financial decisions. I can't I forgot how you word this, Eric, but you say nothing is final until it's, I don't know if you said fatal or nothing is final until it's
Well, nothing is final until death, right? Like nothing is final until it's over, until you can't do nothing about it no more,
right.
right? So
And so
any decision you make, you can fix. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
anything that happens, there's a way to you know, it's not over till it's over. You know what
Right.
I mean? Nothing's
You know
final
what I'm
until
saying?
it's yeah.
And so do everything that you can now to write the path as it relates to your financial future and be able to manage your finances that way when you get to like I say your later years, those expenses, those unneeded debts, you clear those. You know what I'm saying? And all the investing that you did with your 401ks and with your business or with your real estate or all these other different vehicles, man, you can reap the benefits of that. like you can experience life totally different because you did everything that you needed to do now. That way you're able to progress and enjoy these years of life that you have when you ain't got to work for nobody. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
see,
saying?
and the reality is this: like the more trees you plant now, the more fruit they'll bear later, right?
For
So
sure.
everybody sees successful people, and sometimes it look like it happened overnight, but they don't see all the work that they put in beforehand, right? And all the years and all of the seeds they planted that's allowing that fruit to come to, you know, come to fruition. So it's like doing the due diligence and the proper planning and doing all of that now, right? And I said this all the time, and a lot of people, right? What happens is when you start getting in the habit of proper planning and making those right decisions and moving in the right way, initially you're not going to see no benefit from it, right? You're going to feel good because you know you're doing the right things, but there's not going to be an immediate monetary benefit, or, you know. But what happens is after some time, and once those seeds start to mature, you know, you may have planted one here, you may have planted another one a year from there, you may have planted another one a couple of years. But what happens is once that's those you know, that fruit start to come, right, then it keeps coming.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
now there's an abundance of it. You know what I mean? Because all of these decisions that you made, it's like a compound effect, right? I mean, it's very similar to if you continue to make a whole lot of bad decisions, right? And things just stay bad and get worse, right? It's
Yeah.
the opposite with the proper planning and the good decisions. You know what I mean? And you bear all this fruit and things are well. So it's important to stay the course. It's kind of like working out. You know what I mean? When you first, if you ain't worked out in, you know, a couple years, after you go to the, you're not gonna leave the gym and drop 20 pounds and be walking around all super fit after, you know, a month of working out. It's just not gonna happen. Like, you're gonna start feeling better, but you know what I mean, you're not gonna see those huge body changes until after some time. You know what I'm saying? And so very, very similar. So the last two questions to ask yourself is, what age do you plan on retiring? And this is important because if you plan on retiring before 59 and a half, then you won't be able to tap into your IRAs or your 401ks without paying a penalty, right? So it's good to have other forms of money and investments and things that you can tap into to, you know, sustain, you know what I mean, or keep you afloat until you're able to tap into that money, to your 401ks or IRAs. And then, will you be in a higher tax bracket at retirement? And the reason I ask this question is because when you go Google benefit, like pros and cons of traditional versus Roth in either one, what they're going to ask you, one of the questions that they'll ask you is, do you think you're going to make more money closer to retirement age, or be in a higher tax bracket at retirement age, or right now? So like, if you're in your peak earning years and you think things are going to slow down for you, some say invest in a traditional 401k, because once you retire and you actually pour the money out, your tax rate may be less, right? So it's better to pay now and or it's better to contribute now tax free, because once you take the money out, you're going to be at a lower income bracket, so you're going to pay less in taxes. That can be true, but I think most people's aim is to continue to make more money and kind of naturally your income or tax bracket will go up over the years. Now, that's something else we're gonna be talking about taxes, because there's even ways to get around that. But that's a completely different episode. But yeah, so what, you know, that's something to think about. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you hit him with the final thought said, and then we can close this thing out.
Yo, final thoughts. So making certain that your future is secure can prevent many potential problems. It's important to eliminate possible by asking yourself the right questions and finding the answers that best support your needs. So as we said, you know, ask yourself questions, you know, and really go out and actively look for the resources that can support what you need and what your future can potentially look like. And like he was saying, like, you're not gonna see the success overnight. Like, things aren't going to change just instantly. It's a process. But one thing that you have to really embrace is just that, the process of understanding, the process of change, familiarity, moving different, understanding new methods, changing your mindset, all those things. Whenever it comes to tapping into financial freedom and financial independence it takes a significant shift in the way that you look at money. You know what I'm saying? Just the access and the resources that are available to you that you tap into. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know everything. There's things that we're still continuously learning, but there's benefit as you progress towards better. Like every day you should be progressing towards better. So when it comes to the finances, as long as you're learning something and you're growing your understanding of that, you know, and you're progressing towards better from a financial standpoint, that becomes valuable to you, right? And then you're able to implement those things and how you make decisions and the options that you choose as it relates to your future. So, you know, really, like we've been saying, man, just learn, use slide 2 as slide 2 and 3 rather as a tool to kind of steer you in the right direction. This is going to be in the bio. You know, when you click on the bio and look at the kits and go through all the other kits, you know, it's 32 of them up there. It may be something that we've discussed that you may see that could spark your interest. You know what I'm saying? And so really just take in the information, utilize it, and most importantly, share it as well too. You know what I'm saying? But doing these things specifically could definitely eliminate possible challenges for you in the future and really set you up for success. And that's what you want.
Hey, and we gonna end.
Oh my God. Somebody get this boy off the line, man. Where's your wife? Where is Rachel at, man?
Hey, what she say?
Hey, no doubt.
I'm FREE, fuck nigga free.
Golly, where's Rachel when you need her? She ain't got off the line. I need her to come.
Hey, but in all seriousness, man, we appreciate y'all for watching. We appreciate.
Babe, don't entertain him. Don't.
Hey, no. Hey,
do not entertain this man.
FREEA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, you gotta retire so you ain't worried about him. You know what I mean?
I'm free.
Right. But in all seriousness though, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Everybody who watched live, everybody who go back and watch the episodes. Said it once, said it twice, said a million times. A lot of things coming. Yeah, if you don't do nothing else, keep it thorough. And we'll holler at y'all next time, man. And be sure to tune in next Thursday. Holler at y'all.
No doubt.